Hi class, my name is Trevor Sutzman, and we are going to be going over a business analysis of Chick-Fil-A. It's a well-known fast food restaurant chain style. You can find these in the United States, Puerto Rico, and Canada. And we are going to be going over a lot of different things that have to do with the company, from their code of ethics all the way to their pastel analysis. So our analysis is we're going to be going over their ethical philosophies, their biblical ethics in the workplace, their CSR approach, or their corporate social responsibility for their business, and what they represent for themselves as well, for what people see in their everyday operations. Of course, their pastel framework, that's going to be their political, their economic, their social, um, their technology, their environmental, and their legal elements of their business, and what they do to keep that flowing and keep it standing on 2 feet, to say. And then I also wanted to make my own code of ethics and CSR approach for the business that I would do personally if I was able to, run this business myself. So to start, this is their ethical philosophies. While Chick-fil-A is one of the world's most recognized fast food chains, this does not go without the understanding that they revolve their business around glorifying God and the representation of Christianity in the workplace. So while Chick-fil-A is not necessarily representative of a Christian company, as they secularly sell chicken, it's kind of hard to put Christianity and chicken in the same, or in selling a product of chicken in the same category. So they don't necessarily revolve around like the Christianity, but they're more focused on their biblical principles. And so this is their ethical philosophies for the business, and that is to glorify God by being a faithful steward of all that is entrusted to us, to have a positive influence on all who come in contact with Chick-fil-A, to live out our purpose and honor true its legacy. We are focused on creating a culture of care both at the support center and in our restaurants. So this is going to be their biblical ethics in the workplace. I wanted to choose a business that represents God's word in a positive manner in a world where people don't really know God. Not the entire, a small percentage of the world are Christians, and I feel like for such a large corporation that people go to every day, people go to Chick-fil-A, they have many options on their menu that could even not even involve chicken. You could see vegetarians there, you could see vegans, you can see people that eat anything that go to Chick-fil-A. It's quality food, and people just love it. And I think that what they represent is going to be maybe planting that seed, per se, in people that don't necessarily know God. So that's why I think that their business is really important. So the founder of Chick-fil-A, Esther Kathy, finds that the company is not a Christian company, as I stated before, but it is built on biblical principles. So the biblical, this is continued of the biblical ethics for the business. Kathy was a devout Southern Baptist. His religious beliefs had a major impact on the company. The company's official statement of corporate purposes says that the business exists to glorify God by being a faithful steward of all that is entrusted to us. So it's similar to their code of ethics, or their ethics philosophies. It's very similar. They both have to do with biblical principles and their Christian standards that they kind of go by. So their CSR approach, this company takes their corporate social responsibility very seriously as they continue to promote fantastic customer service. That is their main thing. If you go to Chick-fil-A, you go through their drive-through, you see the willingness and the things that these employees will do to ensure quality. While that is not necessarily something that is shown in their CSR, and what they say, but it's still, everything kind of revolves around customer service. So their CSR approach, this is from their website. So what they say is that it has to do with caring. Like they care a lot about the people, the customer service, the food, the quality, the employees themselves. They have a large corporation with lots of people involved, a lot of employees, a lot of ins and outs to that. So this is what they say about for their CSR approach, which has to do with caring primarily. So caring for people by cultivating a positive work environment where the people are known and cared for. Caring for our communities and strengthening the cities and neighborhoods we serve. Caring for others through our food by serving great food people can feel good about. And caring for our planet by acting as good stewards of the planet as we share. Moving on, this is their pastel framework. As I said before, this is the political, economic, social, technological, economic, and the legal section of their company that they share. It's open to the public to see what they do and why they do the things that they do in order to keep their business afloat, and the things that they do to innovate and continue to grow as a company. So for a business in the food industry, it is especially important to show your company's pastel and continue to thrive in that department. So this is what I found for them that reflects their pastel to a T. So this is their framework. So for political, they focus on health and safety regulations. Obviously, they are a food company and they have to adhere to what the FDA says. They have to have FDA approved food, and it has to be safe for people to want to consume it. Without that, people are not going to be going to get food at Chick-Fil-A. It has to be safe. And they also want to provide the health and nutrition that people need if they were to come to their restaurant and eat. For their economic, that is just primarily inflation. We live in a country where inflation is constantly happening as the economy changes, and the dollar value starts to lose value over time. The more that we print money, the more that we spend money on things for the government spends money on. So there's a lot of ins and outs to that, but they affect the economy directly, including food businesses, where they themselves have to still make a profit. They spend money on their materials, they spend money on lots of things that have to do with their business, but they still have to turn over a profit. This business has been positive and had rising profits for years. They have not been in the negative from the year before. So they're doing a good job with following the inflation, and this can also do with the minimum wage that they pay employees. They have to follow the government's laws of minimum wage, and with that, they pay their employees more. They have to raise the prices of their food more. I don't like to think that Chick-fil-A is very expensive, but I think that they're maybe in the medium range of expensive fast food, but it is quality, and you pay for what you get. So inflation, of course, that has to do with their economic and what they have to watch over for their business. For the social, it's keeping healthy options for the customers. That's a given. I mean, people come to Chick-fil-A and they honestly have a very diverse menu. You can get the fattest food from the chicken sandwich and fries and a milkshake, or you can get a salad. They have many options. They have fruits. They have healthier shakes or smoothies. There's lots of different things that Chick-fil-A offers that can bring people in and give themselves a good impression to the economy or the individual as a whole. For technology, this has to do with their research and development. They are focusing a lot of their money and time on research and development to be able to provide the more tasty food, healthier options for their menu, and as well as that nutrition that is important for us humans to function every day, and not find ourselves in an unhealthy lifestyle. So they wanted to focus on that, which is very important, especially for a fast food restaurant, because you see restaurants like McDonald's, or you see restaurants like Taco Bell, that maybe don't necessarily focus on that as much. Like they might want to advertise that, but they also sell cheeseburgers and tacos. Like those don't really align with like a everyday nutritious diet. So that is what Chick-fil-A does for their advancements in technology, that being food, obviously. Environmental, this is conserving natural resources and energy and promoting recycling. So whenever it comes to the restaurants, that can be anything from, using less energy, with like grills, fryers, keeping the lights off, those natural resources and energy that the world needs. There's a lot of pollution. Pollution just isn't just from waste or trash. That can be from light pollution. It can be from, um, using a lot of our natural resources and energy just to make food. Which food is a big part of our lives, but it's also important for our own personal lives to want to conserve that for everybody, as well as recycling. Recycling has become such a big part of why we are able to do the things that we do in America and try to keep our pollution and our trash low, and be able to reuse a lot of the things that we end up wasting. And so Chick-fil-A promotes that they promote recycling. And lastly, they don't have any legal impact, from what I could find. So this is going to be my own code of ethics and CSR statement. I decided to combine them together because they are similar in nature, and they both, are meant to keep Chick-fil-A at a higher standard, and to keep their social status high, and be responsible for their company as a whole. And so what I came up with was to serve all people from any background. The reason that I say that is because Chick-fil-A has gone a bit under fire due to some issues with same-sex marriage, and the things that they donate to. They've donated to people like marriage seminars. They're obviously they're representing God, and they have biblical standards, and obviously we were not made to marry the same gender. That's not what God intended for us. And so for a Christian company, especially a big one, it's hard to make that decision for them. I totally understand that, but just want to, like, while they may not agree with that at the moment, I feel like for the size of this business and the impacts that they make all over the world, I think it's important to not discriminate. That's obviously against the law, but and their impact and in their size, I feel like it's important to make sure that you are serving everybody of any background, despite of race, creed, gender, anything like that. Also, always provide quality customer service. They thrive off of their customer service. You go through the drive-thru, you see how hard they work, and to continuously provide that quality food, that quality customer service that people go there for. They recognize that. Everybody knows how hard Chick-fil-A workers work, and everybody knows how good their food can be. And so for them, I would just want to continue to provide that quality and provide that customer service that is so important, and what really reflects what people see whenever they show up to a Chick-fil-A. For a fact, like it's a fast food restaurant, and it's in the same category as those as McDonald's, Taco Bell, Wendy's, things like that. But you go to McDonald's, Taco Bell, Wendy's, and like you don't really see those employees as much. You see the people in the drive-through window. It's you don't get to really see how the ins and outs of Chick-fil-A and what it means to for the customer service of those other restaurants. But Chick-fil-A, you show up and you get to see how hard they work, and the things that they're willing to do, and how they always end everything with that is their pleasure to do that. So that is very important for their business. And lastly, it's just to expect hospitality and kindness. That is kind of what I've been saying throughout this whole thing. Whenever you show up to Chick-fil-A, you should expect the hospitality. You should expect to feel like you belong there. You should expect to feel like you're important. You're there. You spent your hard-earned money to get food from this business, and so you want to, you should expect that hospitality. You should expect kind people. They work there, and they are there to earn money, but it's not necessarily meant for them to treat people with disrespect or treat people differently because of things that they believe in or things that they look like. That has nothing to do with anything. You're there to work at Chick-fil-A, and you should be expected to constantly be giving people grace, giving people kindness, and making people feel like they're at home whenever they come and eat food at Chick-fil-A. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for listening to my presentation on the business analysis of Chick-fil-A and what I would do in a situation of having to create a code of ethics and a CSR statement for Chick-fil-A. And then these are my citations. Again, thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your semester.